Hello, this is the Psychic Scene with Jennifer Jean, and I'm Jennifer Jean. So today I'm so excited to talk about my 5 favorite spiritual books. This list may change later, but this is what I'm reading right now and recommending for my students and clients in between sessions or in between classes. So here we go. So the first book is called Trust Your Vibes by Sonia, Choquette. And this is a psychic secrets for intuitive living. She's a famous psychic, a famous teacher, and she reveals her secrets that you need to awaken your intuitive voice and trust your vibes. So she talks about living an easier and more uplifting life, and she also includes real life stories of people who have tapped into their intuition and drastically changed their lives. She also talks about living as a 6-sensory person instead of a 5-sensory person, that you use your 6th sense in order to activate your intuitive channel. So your intuition supports your creativity. It helps you to heal emotional wounds. It helps to calm anxiety and bring you into a more peaceful existence. And I love this book because it's such an easy read. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of exercises that you can do. And the author has a very down-to-earth style, very encouraging for anybody who wants to tap into their intuition. You can find other books by Sonia Choquette. I think there's Diary of a Psychic, and then Your Spirit Guide, something like that. But she is really one of the most famous and really wonderful authors on spiritual material. The next book is called Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Pleiadians. So this is a book that is channeled material. It's written by Barbara Marciniak. It was written, I believe, in 1992. And this is channeled material from the Pleiadians, who are a group of enlightened beings who come to Earth to help us discover how to reach a new stage of evolution. And it's interesting that it was written a while back, but there's a lot of things that are going on now in the world that's reflected in this book. And I have to say, some of the material may be a little bit controversial. It may feel kind of like conspiracy theories. For example, they talk about universal and governmental control, the media, human DNA, and that kind of thing, and how basically we're oppressed living here on planet Earth. And you may not identify with these teachings or believe in them, but it really is a fascinating read. It's worth your time. I think one of the biggest takeaways from this book is it shows us that we are a family of life, that we share a deep ancestral connection with the universe around us, and that we are bringers of the dawn to a new reality and a new earth. I read this one a couple years ago. I like to take my time with books like this, but I have to say it really blew my mind. And these teachings had never really occurred to me. But if you're interested in another book about channeling from a channeled source, this is the book for you. My next pick is called Wheels of Life by Anodea, Judith, and this was written in 1987. And in my opinion, this is one of the best and most comprehensive books written on the chakra system. And this represents the sacred architecture of the body and the spirit, and it takes you through each chakra in detail with all the symbology and the function. It includes meditations, poems, and exercises to help strengthen each of your chakras. And it also includes additional material on relationships, on the evolution of the chakras, healing, and how to raise healthy children. And I used this book several years ago when I taught a class on the chakras, and honestly, it was the only book I needed. It was the only resource I needed to teach the class. But I think it's a book you'll really love. It's got some illustrations in it, and the exercises are excellent. So definitely one of the best books written on the chakra system. My next book is called Seth Speaks. This is really one of the most famous books on spiritual matters, and it's written by Jane Roberts, 1972. This is one of the most famous books written on channeling, and I would say it also fits into the mind-blowing category. And it's basically about a woman who channels the entity called Seth, who's described as an energy, personality, essence who's no longer focused in the physical form. So this is an entity that would be called a master teacher who chose this woman to carry on his teachings. So basically, this book talks about the furthest reaches of human potential, and this is a big one, how we create our own reality based on our individual beliefs. And I say this to my clients all the time. Sometimes people want a fortune teller, but we really do create our own reality, good or bad, and this book really brings it home. This book is extremely powerful, and it has withstood the test of time, and it's one of the most interesting books you'll read about inner reality. I love this book. I read it over and over again, and right now I'm halfway through it again, but I always learn something new from it. It's just wonderful material. And I also love the personality of Seth, who she's channeling. He has a great sense of humor, and even though the material can be a little bit dense and hard to get through, it is very entertaining reading. So such a far-reaching, important text for any spiritual seeker. So the last book I want to talk about today is called Be Here Now by Ram Dass. And this is a very famous book written in 1971. Ram Dass used to be Dr. Richard Alpert, and this book is partly biographical and partly one of the biggest trips you'll ever take in your life. It's been described as a counterculture Bible, and it has so many bits of wisdom, it's really hard to sum it up. But he talks about his own spiritual awakening, partly through his beloved guru, Bhagavan Das, and gives you the tools to take control of your own life by finding your true self. So originally he was a Harvard professor, and he went into kind of existential crisis and realized life was, more than living in an ivory tower. And he did achieve great success as a professor. But anyway, during the 60s, he experimented with hallucinogenic drugs. And during this time of experimentation, he peeled away layers of his own identity to look deep inside. And he also talks about Eastern philosophy, Hatha yoga, and his own path of enlightenment. So basically, there's two parts of the book. Once you get through the biographical section, most of it, the inner part of the book, is basically designed to be taking hallucinogenic drugs and then to read it. But that's completely up to you. It's, whatever preference you have. It's just such a great book. But anyway, I'm going to read a page of the book so you get an idea. All right, here we go. We're all just caught in the delusion, all of us caught in the illusion, being aware of it as illusion, and yet so much in it. If you have ever watched a beautiful Zen monk, a very old monk who is really there, or here, really here, whichever, you watch him. He's cooking food, he's lifting stones, he's moving. You watch him walk, and it's like nobody's walking. The legs are going, and the whole thing is happening, but nothing is happening no matter what is happening. Anyway, I'll leave it there, and you can discover this on your own. But I think this is a great book. You can just read one page. You can use it as a form of divination, but I can't recommend that book enough. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and for sticking with me. If you're interested in taking classes, we still have the ABC Academy for Spiritual Development. We have some more classes this month in April. We're going to redo the Intuition 101 and also a new class on spirit guides. And if you'd like to work with me, you can reach me at readings.jenniferjean.com, and I'll put the link below. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a wonderful day and a happy spring. Namaste.